Major Jones, starting at 24/7. We've heard a lot about you. Watching the film with Boise, why don't you describe yourself to us, what kind of player you are, what kind of player Carolina thinks you see?
Yeah, first off, I want to be a leader. I want to hit the field with this last play mentality, every play like it's your last. Play hard, play fast, play physical, be a coach on the field, somebody that you can depend on when games in the line.
I talked to someone who covered you, boys. He said that you play angry but under control. What is angry and under control?
I guess just knowing what you got to do, get in there with just a mindset that you're going to make every single play. I want to make every play on the field. If it comes my way or not, I want to be there for my team with relentless pursuit any way I can. So just being dominant in that sense, I just want to do everything for my team.
We got Jeremiah in front over here.
Yeah, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. Andrew, for you, when you were in the transfer portal, what were some of the main things you were looking for? And then when you looked at North Carolina, I guess what were some of the main things that they had that just kind of worked for you? And how did you kind of identify that was there?
Yeah, so here obviously just championship pedigree with a coach like Belichick, somebody who's going to develop you, focus on just the small things that are going to just make a big deal when time comes. So honestly, just trying to boost my draft stock as much as I can, trying to come to a winning culture that cares about football, that wants to win, and everything that I talked about with Coach Belichick, some of the guys on the team and coordinators, it just aligns with all my goals. So it's really where I want to be.
Let's go to David here.
David Hill, ESPN. I remember talking to Gio about his recruitment with Belichick, and he said, I was expecting a call from Carolina, but when it's actually Belichick and it's on the other end of the phone, it kind of freaked him out at first. What was your sort of experience like with that first sort of line of communication, and how did you end up kind of getting sold on coming here?
Yeah, so I kind of had a good feeling. I wanted to be a part of this. Just talking to Belichick was kind of like the cherry on top. He made everything seem smooth. The transition was very smooth. And our first meeting, we met face to face. First time I talked to him was in person. It was a great conversation. We talked for a long time. I feel like we could have talked a little bit longer, it seemed like, but he had a meeting to get to. But honestly, it was with my family. He made us all feel welcome, made us all feel at home. He was a lot more genuine, a lot more authentic than I feel people give him credit for. He was very easy to talk to, and he made it simple. The reasons why we're here, what we want to do, what they want to do with me, and it just made everything smooth.
Hey Andrew, Rankin Fuller, Target 24/7. You played in some huge games last year, of course, in the college football playoff, the Mountain West Championship, but also one sack, one forced fumble against Oregon early in the season. Playing against that high-tier competition, what are some key takeaways you took from those games, and how do you plan to bring that here to Chapel Hill?
Yeah, those are the games you live for. You know what I'm saying? Just playing against this very best competition. That's something I always strive for. Just as a kid and growing up, even through high school, I always wanted to play with or against the best. So those games come up, and they're circled on the calendar for sure. And you know that you gotta do everything in your power to play your best. Because the team is dependent on you. And I always go into every game like it's on me, mindset. I feel like if all 100 guys on the team is going into the game like it's on me to win this game, you'll play well and things will happen for you. So
Let's go to Tommy here.
Tommy Anderson, Inside Carolina. The defensive line has been rebuilt, the linebacker room's been rebuilt. Secondary is pretty similar than it was last year. What can you tell us about the guys in front of you, that defensive line? Because they're all fresh faces from them.
what I'll say is, they're big, they're hungry, they come into work every single day. They're willing to learn, and they're ready to just get after it. I feel like all of us coming from different places, so it's easy to see a lot of individuals, but I feel like we did a great job at mending together as a team, on and off the field, getting to know each other, and just playing fast and physical. That's something we wanted to implement, on a heavy scale every single day, every single practice, being the most physical team on the field every time we take it, and knowing where you're going and helping each other out. If they're in a spot, I gotta make them right. If I go somewhere, they gotta make me right. So just playing in one unit, I feel like that's what they're coming here to do.
Noah Westoff, Target 24/7. What was it like for you in the transfer portal? I know people have crazy stories of got 8 calls in the first minute. What was it like for you, and how were you able throughout that process to sort of stay level-headed and make sure you're making the right decision?
Just focusing on mainly what my true goals were for not only as a football player, but just as a person, going somewhere where the program, you know, just cared. You know, they cared about winning. They cared about doing the right things on and off the field. They cared about just developing me as a player. Knowing I only had 1 year left, a lot of schools understood that. So I needed to come in immediately and just learn a new system and be developed from where I was. And I just wanted to be ready for the league when the league comes calling. And I felt like Coach Belichick, you know, there's nobody else better to go to for that. So.
Brian Ronald with the Daily Star. And I believe that I talked a little bit about how you guys grew up, I mean, pretty close, and you grew up playing youth football with each other. Can you talk about how that relationship has been and kind of how it's been both of you kind of transferring to UNC?
Yeah, so I mean, me and him go way back. You know, like we lived about like 5 minutes away from each other back in California, and even through COVID and stuff, like we'd be up at 6 a.m. like most days, just going to get work together, going to hit the field after, staying till it's dark, like just really finding things to do. Honestly, on and off the field, we got really close then, and then through college. We ended up playing each other when he was at Washington and I was at Boise, and it was kind of a full circle moment there. And then coming all the way back to here, we were both in the transfer portal, and it just made it more just, it just had a better understanding of kind of what we wanted to go do, and how we wanted this season to turn out for both of us. And I trust him, he trusts me, and he made a very good pitch to me when I was in the transfer portal about why I should come here and what we could do. And I'm just excited to get to work with him because that's my best friend. So.
Case Shoemaker is like, I'm also curious, another relationship, more on the house. I know you guys were in the same high school, and how much you guys overlap there, but when you come in such a new room to the linebacker position, how has it been creating chemistry, and how many, you know, how quickly you guys got along with?
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier when you know a guy kind of like came up how you came up a bit, and gone through the same kind of cycle you have, because he was a freshman and I was a senior at Bosco, so I kind of knew he was a young guy who had a bright future. Seeing it like play out for him is special because I literally saw him like kid growing up, becoming a man. So and he saw me as well, you know, looking at me as a senior and then getting me here. I feel like he's helping me out a lot. Like he was already familiar with a lot of stuff that Steve brought in and a lot of stuff that kind of just Carolina brought in with the first few months he was here. So he's been guiding me the way I would expect a vet to do. And it's kind of funny just the age difference, how much more mature he is, I would say. But yeah, you know, he's a good dude, good player, even better person. So.
Time for one or two more. You ready, gentlemen?
Yeah, so Andrew, I know you went to St. John Bosco, and you also went to Boise State, which is a program, even though it's a mid-major, there's a lot of expectation that plays. How have those two schools prepared you for this moment when there's a lot of hype surrounding Chapel Hill and, you know, Coach Belichick?
Yeah, in high school, I would say winning was the standard. Coming out, I wanted to go to a program where that was the same thing, where people cared. That was my biggest thing, care factor being high and winning being just what we're supposed to do. So going to a school like Boise State, you know, winning was something they did and they did consistently. And just growing you as a great football player and as a man, and I feel like that was something that I was looking into deeply, making sure that there's a program that would take me from ground up and try and build me to be a better player than who I was the day before. So that's pretty much why I did that.
And I have a quick follow-up question. You know, Jamie Collins is your position coach. How has he helped you throughout your development? Because he was a Pro Bowler in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, learning from somebody like that every single day, who was in it with guys like you are, you know, playing football at a very high level, highest level. He's went through some of the workouts, even that Mo put him through, or some of the practice and the scheme. So it's easy to learn from somebody that's done it and that understands it and sees the game from the entire lens, you know. So I feel like he comes in every day with the mentality of work, and it just makes you want to go harder because you just want, you know, what you want to amount to. If you make a great play, I'm sure like he's probably made a play like that too. So it doesn't let you get too much in your head about what you do good and bad. It's just about getting better.
The last one.
Hey, doing? My name is Ben Volan from the Boston Globe. Came down here to write about your coach. He's covering back in New England. I know you said he's a pretty down-to-earth guy, but just through this whole process, like, has there been like a pinch me moment? Like, can you believe that Bill Belichick, the guy who coached Tom Brady, like, is here at UNC as your coach? You know?
Honestly, it's just every meeting I walk into, every new day, I just sit there and I understand like that I'm in front of greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm going somewhere where he's leading our team and our troops, and we're following him. So, pinch me moment, I would say probably when I first met him, but it's becoming more normal because he just is such a good person. You know, he talks to us, he keeps it real. We have good conversations that you wouldn't really expect to get out of a coach of his magnitude, but like he really has us understand the fundamentals of the game and just keeps it simple for us, and that allows us to play fast, play free, and then just trust what he's putting out in front of us.
Perfect, good stuff, Andrew. Y'all let me get to practice.